The spice levels in this video are set to an all-time high, so if you can't handle spice and Invoke, this may not be the video for you. But for everybody else, welcome to my Invoke Mekk-Knight Dragoon going first deck profile. You guys know I've been dabbling with the going first deck profiles for Invoke. I have one a while ago, and this is my most updated one that is insanely good as long as you draw an Alistair and a Mekk-Knight. Any of those two, whether it's Meltdown or Terraforming or any of the Mekk-Knights, you are honestly so golden to go. And this deck doesn't even fail if you don't draw them. You still have other opportunities in this deck. So guys, let's just go ahead and get into the profile. I'm really excited to show you guys this. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to use my TCG affiliate link down in the description below. And of course, if you liked this video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know why. I'm always here to listen to you guys. Let's get right into it. 3 copies of Alistair the Invoker. Said it many a times and I'll say it again. Searches out your invocation and you can boost one of your fusions by 1000 attack and defense, and that's really good. So that would be our boy Alistair the Invoker. Following that, 3 copies of Mekk-Knight Purple. Yeah, we're still playing purple. Really good. Especially if you draw him, you can keep extending and have a follow-up monster on board, which is strong. But nonetheless, you can go ahead and summon this as long as there's 2 cards in a column. And you can banish a Mekk-Knight, search another Mekk-Knight that's not purple. And it comes back on your standby phase. 2 copies of blue. What blue does, if there's 2 cards in a column, you can special summon him, and then you get to search based upon the number of cards in your opponent's column, whether it's 1, 2, or even 3, but hopefully we don't get 3. I know, surprising, you don't want to get that plus 3 right there. 1 copy of Mekk-Knight Indigo to move your cards around, and that's it. That's our Mekk-Knight package. We're not playing yellow, we're not playing red. You could if you want, they're extenders, but we don't need them. We're keeping it simple. And, we gotta play 3 Parallel Exceeds. You think we're stopping on calamities like you saw? No, we're extending. We're gonna keep extending. And hey, you didn't draw a Mekk-Knight, but you have Alistair, and you have a Parallel Exceed? Guess what? You still have a full combo. It's insane. 3 copies of Ash Blossom. I've been on the 3 Ash recently. I think it's good. If you're going first, for some reason I think playing 3 is better than playing 3 going second. I don't know. It's something with my mind. It's always been my philosophy. 3 Ash is better going first than going second. 2 copies of Ogre. You guys know what I'm gonna say. Best hand trap in the format. Best hand trap like ever. Can someone want to donate me some ultimates, please? We're playing the 2 bricks, but the 2 best bricks, Dark Magician and Red Eyes Black Dragon. I love these cards, so even if they're bricks, I don't mind. Still trying to get myself that Shonen Jump Red Eyes, but this one will do. I feel like they match pretty well, surprisingly. 1 Terraforming for the search of magical... for Meltdown. So, Meltdown, whole thing is you want to search out your Alistair, really strong, and your opponent cannot stop your fusion cards from activating. They can still chain the effect and negate some stuff and, send your Alistair to the banish zone, which sucks, but you get your search for an Alistair, and yeah, you get that priority on the fusion summon too. 3 copies of Invocation. If you're the best Invoke player like myself, of course, asterisk, not really, you are always going to see Alistair and Invocation. It's just, it always happens. It's like, this is like the engage of Invoke, right? Oh, you ash my engage, activate another engage. Oh, you ash my Alistair, activate Invocation anyways. And yeah, play 3. 1 Red Eyes Fusion. You do not want to draw this card, like, at all. This card sucks to draw. If you draw it, you still have plays, but this is not something you want to draw because for our end board, it's not ideal. But yeah, Red Eyes Fusion. Play 1 copy for Anaconda. We're playing 2 Call by the Graves. You want your cards to go through. You can cut this out if you want, but honestly, keep it. I just like Call by the Grave. You're going first, so it's always going to be live, even setting it, which is strong. 2 Cosmic Cyclone. Say with me, guys. Please play Cosmic Cyclone to stop the Mystic Mine. If you get Mystic Mine, you lose. Please say it with me, guys. Like, I'm going to keep saying it. Cosmic Cyclone belongs in every deck. If not, at least play MST. There's no cost to it. MST doesn't negate, but we take what we can get. 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Just more hand traps, basically. Really good. And something you guys probably don't see very often in Invoke, trap cards. We're playing 2 Grave Diggers Trap Hole. You guys could probably guess why. I think this card is actually super nuts in the format right now. So yeah, 2 copies of that. 2 copies of Solemn Strike. How long have you guys not seen Solemn Strike, right? You can make this Solemn Judgment if you want, or Solemn Warning. I just like Strike the most. Personally, that's just me, but you can make this whatever you want. Judgment's fine too. Life points don't mean nothing if you win the game. And 2 copies of There Can Only Be One. The only conflict we have with this card is that Dragoon is a spellcaster and so is Alistar. Well, Alistair. But who cares? You're gonna win that game anyways. Stop your opponent from playing, and you win. That's how this card works. You can up any of these to 3 if you want. Cut the Call by the Graves if you really feel like it. We're not playing Desires. We're not playing TTTs. I don't think it's needed. You can get to this combo like 99% of the time, unless your opponent has like 5 hand traps. Then good luck. But then they have no follow-up play. And yeah, that is it in terms of the main deck. 40 cards. Now let's get into the extra deck. We're playing 3 copies of Macabre. Why, right? We're going to be using 2 of them to make Calamities. It's really easy, don't be afraid. And the 3rd one is going to be there if we have the resources to make a 3rd one. Or it's going to be our follow-up play, because we're always going to be able to make them. We are going to have a lights in the graveyard, no worries. That's kind of it. We're playing 1 copy of Purgatrio. You guys know it hurts me to only play 1, but we don't have the extra deck space to really utilize it at 2. But you can, there is a way, it's up to you. I just think 1 is fine. You have a lot of good cards. 1 Aguides, because it's our boy. Gonna shift this over here. Such a good card still. You get to go ahead and banish a fusion. It gains the attack on the summon. You pop something. Your opponent special summons something. On the next turn, you pop something. You have so many good ways. You have Solemn Strike. You have this. You're honestly golden. Get rid of those. That is it for the Invoke lineup. For our last fusion, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Super good card. We're going to be making him very consistently in this deck. It's not hard, and you get some like insane advantage, honestly. So that is that. 1 copy of Abyss Dweller. We're playing Exceeds in Invoke. That's nuts. Because of the Parallel Exceed, this is actually really good. A lot of decks still kind of hurt through Abyss Dweller. It's not as strong as it used to be. You can swap this with any rank 4 or another fusion if you want. I just like Abyss Dweller because some decks still can't play around it. We're playing 1 copy of Traptrix Rafflesia. Yeah, that's kind of why we're playing Bottomless, not Bottomless, Grave Diggers Trap Hole, to prevent our board from getting that beard. Or on top of that, just have your opponent not be able to use their graveyard or a hand effect, and you burn them for 2,000. It's so good. And you guys saw him, our boy, True King of all Calamities. We're not playing no Kaku. We're not playing no other level 9 engines. We're playing strictly old school, waste 2 Macabres to make him, and it's fine. 1 copy of Mirage for our Link 1. 1 copy of Link Cross. We're not making no synchro plays here. We don't run a single synchro. We're only going to be using those tokens for them being a light. We can't link with them, but we can still fuse with them to make Macabres. This is going to be only primarily for a really big extended play if we have the right cards in hand. But honestly speaking, if it happens, you're super golden. 1 Predaplant Anaconda to get out our Red Eyes fusion to make the Dragoon. Nuts. And then for the last link 2 of the deck, we're playing 1 Alistair, the Invoker of Madness. You kind of have to choose between what you want to do, right? If you have Alistair in hand, Alistair, the Invoker of Madness, my apologies, and you have like a really good hand setup, you can extend into a really strong board. However, honestly speaking, you're going to be making Anaconda more, and Madness will be your follow-up play, so keep that in mind. So that is it for those little links, and the final 2 links we're playing is our boy Decode Talker and Boral Sword Dragon. You might be like, Decode Talker? Haven't seen him in a hot minute. Why? Let me explain something. A lot of time you end on a Anaconda on the board. That's kind of it. You just end on Anaconda, it stays there. For your follow-up, if an Anaconda lives, you have Decode Talker to make. Any 2 monsters, you make a Decode Talker. You don't need to waste 4 to make a Boral Sword, because Boral Swords can just be overkill. Another thing you can do, actually, if you want, you can swap out the Boral Sword Dragon for an Appaloosa or an Access Code Talker. I think that Appaloosa may be the better option, honestly speaking, because you can easily make a 2-3 negate monster. No problem, it's up to you. But I think that Decode is really underestimated, could be really strong. The targeting protection doesn't really matter anymore because Dragoon doesn't personally care. But hey, it's still a good card, and just getting the boost from the arrows and then attacking for game is just strong. Again, these 2 are flex picks, but I would say Boral Sword should stay. This could be whatever you want. It's up to you. That could be a Cyber Dragon Nova if you want to be, you know, more safe against the Dogmatica. So here is the side deck. It's kind of the same as you guys have seen in the last couple of videos. I'll just run through it. 3 Nibiru to stop combo decks, 3 Secret Village because Dragoon is a spellcaster, and it's nuts if you draw Dragoon with a Secret Village. It's actually so insane. Even if you draw the Red Eyes Fusion, you activate the Red Eyes Fusion, make the Dragoon, activate Secret Village. You're literally golden. 2 copies of Dark Rule No More, 2 copies of Twin Twisters, 3 copies of Evenly Matched, 1 copy of Red Reboot, and 1 Metaverse to round up the side deck. Now, I'm sure you guys might be wondering, hey, so how exactly does this work? What am I getting out of this deck? Let me go ahead and show you guys how a combo looks like. Alright guys, so let me show you how the 2-card combo looks like with just an Alistair and a Mekk-Knight. It could be any of them, but purple is going to be the one that gets you the most advantage, but again, it could be any of them, doesn't really matter. So let's go ahead and show you guys what happens. We're going to be normal summoning our Alistair. We're just going to go ahead and add the invocation to our hand. From there we link away the Alistair into an All Mirage. So from there we're going to go ahead and set the invocation and special summon our Mekk-Knight. We're going to go ahead and activate our Mekk-Knight just so we get a resource on the standby phase. And then we're going to go ahead and add the Mekk-Knight Indigo to our hand. From there, we're going to go ahead and special summon the Mekk-Knight, link away these 2 into an Anaconda. Boink. So we're going to go ahead and from there activate our invocation to banish our Mekk-Knight Indigo and our Alistair to make a Macabre. There he is. Try to keep you don't want to make columns, so try to keep that away. Activate the invocation to spin this back to your deck, and go ahead and get the Alistair to your hand for the monster negate for Macabre. From there, simple enough, we just activate our Anaconda, pay our 2k life points, get these 3 out of the deck, and special summon our Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. And unfortunately that's all we can do, but again, this is a 2-card combo. You're obviously not going to have just Alistair in hand, you're going to have another 3 cards to work with. But again, that's a strong board. You're going to have a negate for Macabre, you're going to have a negate for the Dragoon, and you have the Anaconda for later, which you can't really utilize for any kind of fusion plays. But again, this is a very basic board. This is 2 cards. Guys, so I had a misplay in my video when I was recording on my playmat, and I wanted to go ahead and readjust it because I did realize there was an extra invocation added that shouldn't have been added. So let's go ahead and show you guys 2 combos really quickly. One's going to be without Parallel Exceed, and one is going to be with Parallel Exceed. They all kind of work the same way. So with this hand, it's pretty good. We have Alistair and a Mekk-Knight. We don't really care about blue or I guess impermanence right now. But for the sake of it, let's go ahead and activate the Terraforming. Get the Meltdown to our hand. Then we're going to go ahead and activate the the Meltdown to add Alistair to our hand. From there, we will activate Alistair to search out our invocation. We're going to go ahead and link away the Alistair into an Al Mirage. Set the invocation, summon out our purple. From here, we're going to go ahead and activate the purple effect to search out our indigo. This is primarily just so we can get purple back on our standby phase and we just don't waste them for no reason. So where is our indigo? There he is. Okay, we're going to keep blue in our hand at least for now. Or do we really care? Yeah, it's fine, because worst case scenario, if they have like a Gamma or something, we could set the impermanence and then go from there. But I'm gonna go ahead and special out our Indigo, link these two away into the Alistair link. Okay. From here, we're gonna go ahead and activate the invocation to send our Alistair and Indigo to the graveyard and special out our Makaba. We're gonna go ahead and then activate Alistair's effect to discard the blue to search out an invocation. And then we're gonna go ahead and shuffle back the invocation in our graveyard and bring back Alistair from the banish pile to our hand. So far, not the best board. We have a monster negate, and then we have purple for the following turn, as well as Alistair. This is where we start doing more plays. Trying to see what is the most ideal one. I think this would probably be it. Activate the invocation, banishing out our Mekk-Knight Blue Sky along with the Alistair in our hand to make another Makaba. And I'm trying to think what would be the most... Do we want to activate Madness here? I think it would make sense because then we get one more extender. We do lose the Alistair in our hand, but that's fine. But we also might keep the impermanence. I'm trying to bait like what would be more important, impermanence or Alistair right now. Alistair would be better for the monster negate at the worst case scenario, but impermanence might be better overall. Let's go ahead and get rid of the impermanence to get ourselves another invocation. And keep in mind, it's not the most ideal hand. There could be better ones, like, you know, we did unfortunately draw both Mekk-Knights. So let me see, got that, discard impermanence, want to make sure everything is good. We activated invocation already, okay. So from here we can go ahead and, let's see what we have in graveyard, okay. We can get rid of our Alistair link, make a link cross, activate the link cross to give us 2 tokens, doesn't really matter where they go. Let's see, from there, I kind of don't want to waste even more resources when it's not totally needed. But I think that would be the play. Okay. We're going to go ahead and activate another invocation, getting rid of our Alistair and our Alistair to make ourselves a Caliga. This could be essentially anything, honestly. The only reason I have Caliga in here is because you have a lot of dark targets because of Dark Magician and Red Eyes Fusion. But I'm only using it as an extender, honestly speaking. You can only activate one monster effect, which is fine. You're going to be linking him off like right now. There we go. Into the Anaconda. From here, we're going to go ahead and overlay these guys to make Calamities. And then activate the Anaconda, pay the 2k life points, and send our Red Eyes Fusion, along with Dark Magician and Red Eyes Black Dragon. And then we just special summon out our Dragoon. That's it for this turn. It's not the best because we didn't really utilize the full ability of Link Cross, because we did have the Mekk-Knight in our hand, which we banished for the invocation. We would have just used one of these tokens otherwise, which is why I said the arrows don't really matter if anything. So instead of like the Mekk-Knight being here, it would have been something else in the graveyard for discard fodder, and we would have used that token. And honestly speaking, pretty solid board. We have a Calamities, we have a Dragoon, and we have the follow-up play with purple coming back to our field. We have the Dragoon negate if it's needed, we have Calamities for the turn, and then, you know, hold on, not view, I want to shuffle. Shuffle, draw for turn, like I said, this comes back, and then we can just recur Alistair really quickly by doing this. And then bring this to hand. And, yeah, you could just keep going if you need to. We have another Makaba of an Augustus, which we have in this 4. You can make Makaba pretty easily. You can link these away into a Boral Sword if you want. Not ideally in this case, because we have the tokens, which kind of messed us up, honestly. Having the Mekk-Knight in our hand, this would have been an empty spot, so we could have normal summoned the Alistair. But yeah, like I said, that's not the case in this hand. So let's go ahead and show you guys another one with Parallel Exceed in the hand. Okay, so here we have the hand. We have a Parallel Exceed, a purple, this could be any of the Mekk-Knights, and we have Alistair and a Meltdown, which is fine. Having 2 Alistairs isn't the most ideal situation, but it is what it is. Activate the Meltdown, get our Alistair to hand. From there we're going to normal summon our Alistair, get our invocation. Where is he? Boom. Alright, then we're going to link away the Alistair, make the Almirage. From there we're going to activate the Parallel Exceed from hand to special summon out our Parallel Exceed. And then In defense mode, always do defense mode. We're going to activate the Parallax Seed in the field to special summon out the other one. Where is it? Boom. Okay, from here we can overlay them into Rafflesia to prevent ourselves from getting Nibiru'd. Honestly speaking, since this is going first, I don't feel like a lot of decks main deck that right now. You could go ahead and do it. I'm going to play a bit more cautiously just to make sure we're consistently good with this build. But like I said, this could be Rafflesia, Abyss Dweller. We're going to see toward the end. If they have it, they have it. That's kind of how it works. We're going to activate the purple to search out ourselves. It could be indigo, it could be blue, whichever one you want. I feel like indigo's a bit easier because at least blue gives you more advantage if you draw him next turn. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Link these two guys away into a Alistair. We're going to go ahead and from there activate our Invocation, banishing our Alistair and banishing our Mekk-Knight. Okay, some dueling book lag. To special summon out our Macabre. We do need to discard to get the Alistair search in this case scenario. We can't wait on that. I'm trying to debate what may be better. Dark Ruler is going to be a great end combo, if anything. But Alistair is a bit more useful. Actually, yeah, we're going to get rid of the Alistair. Get our Invocation from deck. Okay, now we're going to activate the Invocation in our graveyard to get back our Alistair from our banish pile. Shuffle the deck. And from here, we're pretty good still. We have two lines of play here. If we're not going into Rafflesia, this is a bit easier because we get to keep more resources in our hand, which is what we always want. So if we can make this into a Link Cross, give ourselves 2 light tokens, make another Macabre, and then do that play, which I think might be better. I think that's just a safer option. Just because, again, I'm trying to keep my resources as long as possible and not blow through this entire extra deck. This is kind of more of a risky Glass Cannon-esque build of Invoke, but the end board is fantastic and you have follow-up plays for the following turn. So from here, we're going to go ahead and activate Invocation, banishing our Alistair in graveyard. We don't really want this one banished because at least with this one banished, we can recur him back next turn. And get rid of one of our tokens to make ourselves another Macabre. Again, we can't activate this Invocation, but on your next turn you can, which is fantastic. From here, we can't link away with these tokens. We're going to go ahead and link away one of these guys with one of these to make ourselves an Anaconda. We're going to go ahead and overlay, preferably not to a zone that, at the worst case scenario, the relinquished card can take. So right here. Then we're going to go ahead and activate our Anaconda, which we did a second ago. And graveyard, graveyard, and graveyard to summon out our Dragoon. Boom. And then you just set their column B1 because we have a Cyberse, we have a Worm, we have a Spellcaster, and we have a Plant. And on the following turn, our purple comes back. And I know what you might be thinking. Oh, but this conflicts with Alistair, and that's fine. Look at the board you have. Dragoon's going to just start popping things away. You can just win off of that. Alistair, yeah, it kind of sucks that we can't activate him, but we can boost our fusion by 2,000 because we're going to have 2 in our hand that turn. And we're going to be discarding this one anyways off of Dragoon Negate. And yeah, that's kind of the board. You could change it up a little bit. It's just not ideal because you lose more resources that way. You could make Rafflesia, you'll have to activate Madness one more time. But the only downside is you would not have this in hand. You would essentially, this would be your board. Let me show you guys. This would be there, this would be here, this would, that seems to be about right. And then this one would not be in the graveyard. This is how it would look like. Overlay, there. And then move this over here. That's our board, but we would have no back row to stop anything. And I know what you might be thinking, why would you need back row when you have a Gravedigger's Trap Hole, a Omni Negate board wipe thingy-majiggy just your opponent can't play, and a Negate in hand. It's because I like having the follow-up plays at the worst case scenario. Like I said, in this case we're okay. The only other thing is that this would be banished along with this, and we would lose out on Purgatrio. There he is. Because we would have to use the Purgatrio as a resource to link away into making it. And again, that's the only downside with this board, is that it's a lot stronger, but you don't have that really good follow-up player Purgatrio. Now, In this case scenario, you could cut out the Caliga I have in here. I'm not the biggest fan of Caliga overall, but the only reason I'm still playing him in this build is because you're playing all these dark targets, and at the worst, a very small grind game is enough to win you the whole game. Because you could just go ahead and activate Red Eyes Dragoon to pop something, attack with Dragoon, pass, you have a very simplified, a very simple game state. But again, that's the two variants, whichever one you want to do. It's just that you gotta choose. Do you prefer the Purgatrio and I guess the better follow-up play in my opinion, which is just they're calling one just a stomp against most decks. But overall guys, that's just my opinion, my deck, my experience. I did really well with it, I really enjoy it. And obviously this is not a purely going first list, you're still playing all these Mekk-Knights, you're still playing all these like board breaking cards. It's just that going first you have really good plays now. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. Sorry about the prior upload, I did mess up something, but I wanted to correct it and give you guys the most